there, Dr. Jim Kambeitz here. We're going to talk about some things here that we do in the clinic that help with immune system function. So first thing we're going to talk about is the Kangen water machine, and this is what we use and have used for 4 years now. So there's different settings on the Kangen water machine that we use. There's alkalizing settings in there. We know that the most prominent diseases that kill us are cancer and heart disease. So what we do is we use an alkalizing water machine, so we can set it at different levels for people, so that's our drinking water. But more for the immune system, what we do is we do it on the strong acidic setting. So it's 2.5 acidity level, hypochlorous acid, and we spray that on everything that we have here in the clinic. And the reason we got into using the Kangen water machine years ago was not only to help with those disease processes, but also because of knowing that this machine is used and the water is used in Japanese hospitals to help with any bacteria, viruses, and even MRSA. So research has shown that it helps kill those certain bacteria, viruses, and even MRSA. So that's what we use here in the clinic, and we have little spray bottles around the clinic, and we use a strong acidic water, and we leave it on there for 30 to 60 seconds, and it helps kill those three things. Hi there. So another big thing, we just talked about the Kangen water machine, but exercising, making sure that we all exercise. And there's a lot of studies out there showing research, and because we're talking about immune system function here, 20 to 30 minutes a day is all we need to bolster our immune system. And again, we talk about the big killers of us as human beings, and we know that 30 minutes of exercise 5 days a week decreases all cancers, heart disease, things like that, 50%. So, so that's a biggie. And we know that the different phases of exercise, we know that we need the cardiovascular portion. So anything that you can do, you may not have access to a gym with what's going on, but just even getting outside, getting the sunlight, getting the vitamin D, which will help with the immune system, and doing some kind of cardiovascular work, whether it's a long walk, whether you want to do a run walk, you can do interval type training, you can do hill walking. So that's really good, the cardiovascular side of it. The other side is mobility part. So in the gym here, we do a lot with mobility, whether it's foam rollers, we use PVC pipes, a lot of stretching that we do. And then the third component is the strength component phase. So any kind of weights, kettlebells, things like that that you can do. And again, 20 to 30 minutes a day. Personally, I like to get up early and get it done in the morning, get it out of the way, and just a 20 or 30 minute workout is going to really help bolster your immune system. We're going to talk about supplements that enhance the immune system. So one of the best ones to use for all of us would be an omega-3. So omega-3 helps with any kind of inflammation in the body, but also helps with brain, cardiovascular system. So that's a big one, a staple that we should all use is a good omega-3 fish oil. Vitamin D, so majority of people, and now 20 years of doing this and looking at a lot of blood panels, majority of people have a low vitamin D, and sometimes we've seen it in the teens. So the range, if you look on blood work, is 30 to 100. So we like 40, 60 to 80 is even better. So most people need a vitamin D supplementation, and just taking even 5,000 international units per day will enhance the immune system. So that's a big one that we should all be taking. The other big one is essential multi, so a good multivitamin too, to help make sure that the body gets everything it requires. A lot of times we may be low in fat soluble vitamins such as A, D, E, and K, but also probiotics. There's good probiotics in here. Superoxide dismutase is another great free radical that we all need. The other ones here, some of the Protandim are other supplementations that we use. And then a big one is the ultrabiotic, so any kind of probiotic. So even now we're taking a prebiotic and a probiotic, and most people don't have enough gut probiotic to help kill off any bacteria, viruses. So this is a big one, again, for the brain-gut connection that we talked about earlier on. So everybody should be taking a good probiotic supplementation. Other things we use here is Reboost, so it's an immune enhancing supplement and helps with any kind of viruses. And again, this one, we just take it if someone's symptomatic. So they just dissolve underneath the tongue, and that's another great supplement for boosting the immune system. So back in here, we talked about the water machine a little bit and the acidic water that we use. So that's what we use back in here to disinfect too. So spraying down our benches with the 2.5 water in here, leaving that for 60 seconds, and it helps decrease with the bacteria, viruses, and even MRSA with that water. So the other big thing that we do with our adjusting here at the clinic is we'll use instruments. Sometimes we use the hands to adjust depending on what the patient likes and what we feel is most necessary. So a lot of times the big areas that we work with chiropractic, and this instrument, when we adjust or work on people, it just taps real quick, and it's very light. So from little babies that we adjust, newborn babies, my kids have all been adjusted seconds after they were born, to probably 92 as our oldest patients. So a lot of times we want to work the areas that have a lot of lymph nodes, because obviously that's going to enhance the immune system. So we'll do light work, you know, right on the side, work the muscles in here, enhance the immune system, a range of motion that'll help with. We also look at the vertebrae where the most nerve innervation is. So atlas up high in the neck, we'll work in that area. T8 in the mid-back area. If we look at the Merrick chart, that helps with enhancing the immune system. So it depends on what conditions are going on with people to work that area to make sure those nerves are firing correctly. And the simple analogy is that if a nerve is pinched, then that nerve is not going to fire correctly to any organ, tissue, cell in the body. So they did a study up at CSU and took just the weight of a nickel on a dog's nerve, and that weight of the nickel caused 40% loss in function of that nerve. So if we're talking about the immune system, you know, if someone has sinus allergies, congested, cold up in here, we want to make sure the nerves are firing correctly to those areas. If it's more in the lung area, if they have cough, any kind of sickness, you know, stomach doesn't feel right, then we're going to make sure we work those nerves into those areas. So we can either use, again, light manual adjusting, or we can use instrumentation to enhance the nervous system so our bodies will function much better. Now we're going to talk about the laser. So this is another big thing that we use in our clinic to help bolster the immune system. So here we have the red laser, and we know that light, varying degrees of spectrum of light, help with healing. So certain spectrums are really good for healing, some are good for inflammation, some are good for bacteria, viruses, etc. So we have the red laser here, and initially we started using this years ago because one of my sons had a concussion. So we use this a lot with concussions. So basically what lasers do and light therapy does is it goes down to the powerhouse of the cell, which is the mitochondria, produces ATP for energy for the cells. So that's what the red laser that we use in here. So we'll use it for cold, flu, any bacterial, any kind of inflammation in the body. So let's say someone has strep throat, we can even go inside the mouth with the mouth open. Sometimes we'll go up nostril with the light therapy. Sometimes we'll go on the lymphatic system on the side here to help bolster. We know there's a lot of lymph nodes underneath armpit too, so we'll go and follow those areas to help enhance the body. A lot of times we'll do brain, because everything obviously originates from the brain. The master system of the body is the nervous system, so we'll do brain and all the way down. So that's the red laser that we use, and we'll also use the violet laser. So violet laser's been proven to help kill even MRSA. So we'll use this one a lot too. We'll do a lot with the brain-gut axis. So we know that 70%, 70-80% of the immune system is in the gut. So we'll do the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is basically called the wanderer. So we'll go medulla oblongata all the way down, and we'll go all the way to the gut, just to make sure that that brain-gut connection is happening 100%. So this is another great non-invasive way to help enhance the immune system. And then we also have a class 4 laser that we use, and that one we use more for chronic conditions and things like that, but it too will help with stimulating the nervous system. And people that come in, sometimes people have lung issues going on, so even most recently COPD and things like that, things you would not think that laser therapy would help with. But basically any condition in the body, when it helps stimulate the mitochondria and produces more ATP. We have more energy for healing. When it helps stimulate the brain, obviously we're going to enhance the healing properties of the body. So 3 great lasers that we use here in the clinic, and depending on different conditions.